G'day. So today I just want to go over the 9 key elements of a successful LinkedIn sales funnel. Now, these 9 key elements, these are ones that my clients use, that I've used. They've generated this type of funnel, has generated multi-millions in fees off LinkedIn. Now, I know that's a big number, but also, it's B2B most of the time, and the fees are pretty big, right? So I've got clients that have landed 6-figure and multi-6-figure deals off LinkedIn, and even, sorry, they say you're lying when you're rubbing your nose, but it's scratchy. But even deals which have been 7 figures, which have been acquisition-based deals. LinkedIn, this is what I hear on LinkedIn all the time. I'm not getting into conversations. No one's reaching out to me. My profile sucks. I don't know what to say. I use automated drip fed messages and nothing's getting through. No one's there. It's dead. It's useless. It's a platform that you try it for a week and nothing happens. So you give it up for like 3 months. You come back and you try it again. That's all relevant and true. However, when you put in a LinkedIn sales funnel and you apply it consistently, every day you go in there and you nurture your funnel, you're going to get results. One thing I think that has really changed LinkedIn in particular is the fact that so many marketers have come on board, right? So many marketers have come to LinkedIn, and these marketers, they all are content creators, great, and they produce all these great posts. And you'll see some that are absolutely shining. These guys are getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of engagements. And they're saying, well, I make $2 million now after 3 years of posting every day on LinkedIn, blah, blah, blah. That's okay. They're posting about LinkedIn and how to use LinkedIn. It's a whole different ball game when you're not going up to someone to sell LinkedIn on LinkedIn, right? Nearly everyone I coach, they're not selling LinkedIn on LinkedIn. They're selling a product or service, usually a service to another business. And they're not really content creators. And you don't want to have to be stuck, having to create content constantly. Well, this is the beauty of a LinkedIn sales funnel. The content creators, their job is just to sell the idea that if you just put content, people will come to you and, your business is saved. Now, that's true for a very, very, very small percentage of people, those that are creative enough to produce such consistent content. All the money that I originally made on LinkedIn, over $3 million in fees, came from not doing content, but came from doing activities of direct outreach, certain engagement activities, certain nurturing style activities. Because back when I first started on LinkedIn, the content wasn't even a thing, right? People were just sharing articles and it was horrible. Of course, now you have to have content and it helps with the authority. But what I found was that I was getting clients from multiple parts of my funnel. And that's what interests me. I don't want just to get rely on one trick. I don't want to be a one-trick pony, so to speak. I don't want to rely on one trick to get clients. So this is what I perfected and worked on, was putting a system, a sales funnel or sales process. It's not like a ClickFail per se. Yeah, I got my ClickFail award, but it's not a ClickFail funnel per se. It is a sales process, a set of activities that you go into LinkedIn and you execute. So the purpose of my funnels and what I coach with my clients is to get you into opportunities where you can daily pitch, right? But in a warm way, in a non-spammy, non-salesy way, and one where you feel totally congruent and comfortable with what you're presenting to clients. Really, really important. So when we look at a LinkedIn sales funnel, as I said, our purpose is, and excuse my handwriting, is to get you into daily warm pitch opportunities, right? So daily warm pitch opportunities. Because like anything, the more you are pitching, the more you are presenting your offer to people every single day, the more chance you have of selling it. So many people say, well, I asked them, well, how many deals did you close last month? It's like, well, one. Well, how many people did you pitch to? 3. Well, or 4. You've got to be pitching every day. You've got to be presenting your offer every day to people. I still have my clicker here. Every time I speak to someone, I'm clicking it. It reminds me and keeps me focused on my role as any kind of leader. If you're a founder of your own business, is to get belly to belly with prospects, is to be speaking to them. So that's what our goal is to allow you to get into daily warm pitches. And we do that via 3 key pillars of our funnel. We have our authority, we have outbound strategies, and we have our inbound. We have our inbound pillar. So they're the 3 pillars that make up our funnel: the authority, the outbound, and the inbound. And within each of those, we have a number of sub-strategies that have tactics to execute every single day, for every single situation. The first project that we work on when we look at authority is our offer fit. Okay, this is really important. Does your offer actually match LinkedIn? Does your offer match LinkedIn? Some people really, going onto LinkedIn and putting all the effort in, the squeeze just isn't worth the juice. That's the truth. I find if you have, products that are less than, a couple $100, or services are less than a couple $100, you're spending a lot of time there, and you're not really going to see a good return on your money. So we want to make sure our offer is a fit. We want to make sure that we have it structured in a way that's going to interest people. Right? Does it interest people? When someone then comes to your profile, which is the other project that we need to work on in our funnel, when someone comes to your profile, do they understand your offer instantly? Do they get your offer? Does it make sense for them? Right? When someone lands on you, especially when they lands on your profile, are they able to understand exactly what your offer is about, what your offer does? Who is it for? How they're going to work with you? What they can expect when they work with you, right? Really, really important. So the first 2 parts of the funnel, they go together. You've got to have that right offer fit, and you've got to have the profile. Now, the profile also, listen, if you're a business owner and you're running a LinkedIn sales funnel and your profile is a resume or CV, what are you doing? A resume and a CV is used for getting a job. You're not trying to get a job. You're trying to get clients off LinkedIn. So you've got to scrap that resume or CV on LinkedIn, and you should replace it with what I call a client-facing promotional page. So more like a landing page. And it doesn't just mean the about section. I see people all the time when I speak to them like, oh yeah, my profile's great. I've done the about section. Most people don't even open the about section. Meanwhile, you've got the experience section, which has endless amount of free media space, and people will see the first 5 experience sections. Turn that into a landing page, right? So our profile needs to be, you've got to ditch that and replace it with a landing page approach. I've got training here in the group about that. It's really, those sections have to talk about your key services. What is the key services? Who is it for? How's it work? What they can expect? What other clients say? Now that's the other important part. You've got to have a social proof engine inside your funnel, and you've got to use social proof in a different way. Most people, all they're doing, if they get a testimonial, if they're lucky, is they're allowing that to be at the bottom of their profiles, where someone has to really click to get to it. Most people don't. Bring those social proof elements into the profile in multiple locations. When's the last time you went on a holiday, or you went to an expensive restaurant, or you booked a hotel and you didn't read a review? Like, I do it all the time. Most people do. So these social proof elements, the way that we use them in media pieces in the profile. We use them inside the write-up, the descriptions, inside the experience sections. Really important. And not only that, you've got to start crafting your social media, your social proof in a way that is going to actually get people to pay attention. That means the way that you construct it and the questions that you ask people to write about, start to think about the buyer journey. When someone is going to buy from you, there's a concern, there's a problem. So have that discussed in your social proof elements. I have a series of questions based on the brain audit by D'Souza. I formatted it for that, where it's like, what was the problem you're suffering from? What was the concern or issue that you had before joining my program? What did you find when you entered the program? What were the 3 key benefits? What are the features that you love about it? And would you recommend this to someone else? So when someone's reading a testimonial, it's actually addressing all the key problems and myths and objections that they already have. And that's the same for your profile. Your profile has to include objections, myths. You have to answer them, pre-answer them. So when someone is reading your profile and you're not there, they're like, oh, maybe this is too expensive. In your profile, you say, we are affordable and we cost blah, blah, blah. Or they're thinking, well, I don't think this guy would work for me. They deal with companies that are too big. We work with companies from 1 million ARR to 2 million. Like, address this in the profile. That's why you can't have a CV or resume as a profile. It doesn't make sense. You've got to have a landing page. So they're the 3 key elements to work on building your authority. So then we go to our outbound pillar. And our outbound pillar, the first project that we work on and you've got to have down pat is your targeting. Really important, because what most people do on LinkedIn is that they go in and think, okay, I want to find my avatar. And they go to LinkedIn search. If they're using Sales Navigator, great. But they'll go into LinkedIn search. They'll put in the key filters and get this list of people, and then they just start reaching out. Or they put them in a folder or a file, and they send 6 drip-fed automatic messages to. Oh, guys, you got to stop doing that. What a waste. Within that list, you're going to have multiple types of people. One, you're going to have some people, very, very small percentage of people, that are hyperactive, i.e., they're posting at least kind of 3 times a week, or 3 times every 7 days, 3 times a week, they're posting on LinkedIn. They're hyperactive, they're an ideal client. Then you might have some active people. They post every now and then on LinkedIn. So they're active, they're commenting and posting every now and then. Usually within the last 30 days, they've done that. Then you've got a group of people who are lurkers, who are coming into LinkedIn every day. They never post, they never comment. Yeah. Then you've got those that are just inactive, dead. They come in once every 3 months or whatever. At least 4 segments. And if you are treating each of these 4 exactly the same way, can you see why it doesn't work? You've got to put most of your attention on this group, the hyperactives. Then you want to put it on the actives. Then now there's a 5th group as well. It's the high intent person. You should be really dedicating most of your time, when it's not the hyperactives, to this group, the 5th group, which is the high intent group. So it's using triggers inside LinkedIn, like events or certain groups, where someone is putting their hand up and saying, I want to solve this problem, right? So again, if you're just targeting everyone the same, you're wasting so much time. You want to segment who you're going after. Now, the high intent are the best. Really, at the moment on LinkedIn, the high intent, the hyperactives, that's the best, because we have tactics to be able to get into conversations with them. But the second best really is the high intent. Those that are registering for events and attending an event, they're indicating to us that, hey, I want to solve a problem. The hard thing with that is the follow-up. How do you get them to actually speak to you? And that is when we look at our funnel. So we're on the outbound phase, messaging framework. Oh, where did my pen go? Targeting. Messaging, well, let's say message frameworks. Okay, messaging framework, really important. As I was saying, when you're targeting people, you can't treat everyone the same, and you shouldn't be doing the same messages to those different people. So the way that we will message people, do our outreach, is going to depend on which bucket they are in. If they're a high intent individual, and we have two particular high intent strategies. One is for event-based strategies. One is for the group-based strategies. I did a webinar last week or the week before for Duck Soup on the event one. But we have different approaches for these two. Now this one, the high intent event, it's a different type of message, but it'll get 55+% will respond. And these people are cold. These people are cold traffic. They've never seen you before. And if you just did a search on LinkedIn, you would assume they were totally inactive because they never post or comment. So we have a different set of messages for them. We have a different set of messages, message framework for our group, and then our outreach. So if you are using the same messaging for everyone on LinkedIn, you are losing. It's simple. You're losing. Yeah, you've got to create different message frameworks. I'm not talking about templates. I'm talking about a framework that you can follow to guide someone. You'll find training in here on the pink suit method. That's just the opener. We have how to transition and get someone off LinkedIn, but how to open. Use the pink suit method as an opener. That's really effective on high intent, on high hyperactive people. So you've got to get your message frameworks down pat. We have multiple frameworks for the right people. So it means the right message at the right time to the right person. The other part of outbound strategies is our engagement strategies. Yeah. Our engagement strategies, that's including micro-influencer strategies. So if you want to, this engagement stuff, man, if there's one thing, if you could only do one thing on LinkedIn for the rest of your life, running an engagement strategy would be it. That's what I would highly recommend anyone to put any time. What you want to do is really find all those micro influencers, and I'm not talking about the big names like the Justin Welsh and those guys who are like just, I mean, their content's drivel in my opinion, but anyway, people love it. But you want to find micro influencers in your space. Right? In the industry that you work in. So many salespeople or business owners that are selling to an industry, for some reason, they approach it like they're outside the industry. You've got to become a member of your industry. Once you are seen as someone in the industry that offers this service within the industry, the game changes. So how to do that? Engagement, there's two things that you can do. Engagement is perfect for doing this, putting lots of leads, putting lots of threads, fish hooks into the water. The reason why people aren't reaching out to you a lot of the time is because you're not putting out anything for them to grab hold of, right? It's like going to a networking event, being in a corner like this. Who's coming up to you? Nobody. But if you're in the middle of the room, you've got a drink in one hand, you've got a smile, you're like this, people are coming up to you, wearing a crazy hat, whatever. So the same thing on LinkedIn. You've got to put stuff out there for people to grab hold of and make it easy for people to approach. Ways to do this is with micro-influencers. Finding your key micro-influencers in your industry. Those people that are talking about your industry, maybe the non-competitive services or products, but they're posting every day or almost every day. They're out there. They've got a small following. They're engaging with them. You have to become best buddies with that person. Remember, likability is not you being likable. Likability is the other person feeling liked by you. Yeah? Likability. The other person feels liked by you. So when you find these micro-influencers, you run on what I coach with our clients is we run strategies on them so that person feels the love. Then later we can use it in content, which I'll explain later. But You have those people, their network are seeing you. You become buddy-buddy. It changes the game dramatically. It also allows you to put content out easier, because if you are running a micro-influencer strategy or engagement strategy and you're commenting, you're going to find ideas and see things that resonate and like, okay, I'm going to take that and I'm going to make my own story and do a content post about that. Engagement strategies, it just works so well, because if you've got 10, 15 micro-influencers that know, like, and trust you, you're commenting on their stuff, they're commenting on your stuff, what you can do is when you go to your content and you put content out, you're able, that's the pillar of the inbound, you're able to mention them. You're able to say, hey, what do you think about this? At Tom, at Dick, at Harry. Get their comments. You will 3, 5, 10x your visibility of your content when you start to draw in your micro-influencers that are your best friends. Now, as I said, it leads to the content strategy. The content itself is really important in the sense that it's one part of 9. A lot of people are just thinking, oh, all I gotta do is a post and people will come to me. That's rubbish. That's for like 1% of LinkedIn. But putting content, it actually lends itself to authority. It shows that, you are someone that is expressing thought and leadership. But the content you put out there, you can't just be talking business. No one wants to just, talk to that person who's always talking business, right? I mean, it's like going to a networking event and there's always that one person. What all they do is just jab about business. No one wants to speak to that guy at the networking event. You go there, yes, you watch some, there's a keynote speaker, then the rest is kind of just shooting the breeze, getting to know the people around you. That's what you want. You want to become the person on LinkedIn that they know who you are, because you're sharing insights and stories about you, yeah? And when you want to do a business post, again, it's coming from your observation or your participation in the story, right? It can't just be these always pitching. It's flipped over now with all these content creators. Now it's got to be personal, then a business post, then personal, right? People will buy from you after they start to like you and know who you are, or at least start recommending you, right? People don't care about your business till they care about you. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Then you need, in a part of our inbound strategy, is our nurture strategy. You have to have a nurture strategy, right? I mean, people go into LinkedIn, do all this hard work to find the right people. Then they outreach to them. They finally get into a conversation. The person says, maybe not now. And then you put them on a shelf and you forget about them. That's just nuts. That's just nuts. When you have someone who's an ideal prospect, if they are a not yet, you've got to get them in your world and you've got to nurture them. We have a technique called the 1-10-4. It's awesome. Every 10 days, one email or one message, every 10 days, 4 bits of content, a tool, a tip, a resource, or a bit of gossip, or some intelligence on the market, or a quote. Tool, a tip, a resource, a quote. The beauty of this, you're doing it inside LinkedIn, right? Now, when people have an email list and they email out, the worldwide average, and I know some people say, well, 60% of my people open it up, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, good one. The worldwide average open rates are like 21% or so. However, if I send that same message inside LinkedIn, it is near 100% open rates. Yes? When is the last time you've gone into LinkedIn and you see that little red number 1 above Messenger or 2, or you see that little notification and you haven't opened it up? You always open it up. I've been on LinkedIn since April 2004. Every time I see that red dot, boom, I'm checking it out. I'm looking at it. I open up my inbox on my email this morning and I just saw, and I delete without even looking, right? It's completely different. You should learn how to nurture inside LinkedIn. You can do it with multiple hundreds of people, and it will get you nurturing these people, getting into conversations every 10 days. It has such an impact. What happens is people will respond to that. Some people, hey, thanks, I like that number 2 resource, or I like this, whatever. Starts a conversation, you pink suit them, have another chat with them, right? It's about always be opening conversations. The nurture also works really well for people who are not active players on LinkedIn. If someone isn't participating on LinkedIn much, they're just a lurker, the fact is, the way that LinkedIn shows them content and who to show, it's based on 2 parts. One, the activity that they do, and this is in their engineering blog, I'm not making this up. And the second half of their algorithm is based on profiles that look like theirs, accounts that look like theirs, what they recommend that that person is likely to want to see. So half of it is based on the action of the person. Now, if you are doing a 1-10-4 nurture strategy with them, they're responding to you and there's back and forth, LinkedIn sees that and says, oh, okay, well, Jim likes Tyron, so when Tyron does a post, we're going to show Tyron's post to him. And there's a higher chance you'll get on the home screen the news feed of this person. So it's fantastic for kind of not manipulating, but for skewing the algorithm to work in your favor. So these inactive people, they get to see your stuff, right? And if you've got the micro influencers, you're seen as an authority. It doesn't take long to warm up someone again and think, that not yet was because they don't know you enough. Now they know you. And then every 10 days, they're going to hear from you inside Messenger. Yeah, it's a great system. It works really well. And when you implement it, it's just gold. It's just money. It's just free money. And that's running every day, or every 10 days. But you'll get, once you send it, you usually have like 3 to 4 days of people responding. And then like every week or 2 weeks, someone, will respond to it that has just logged on LinkedIn. Again, it's all about getting to daily pitch opportunities. The last part of the funnel that I recommend on the inbound is workflow processes, okay? Workflow and CRM kind of management. You've got to have a system in place to manage your prospects. Where are you going to put them, right? How are you going to lead manage them? And that also goes for you. You have to have a system in place where you have workflow processes that you go into LinkedIn. It might be based on the day, or it might be based on the amount of time that you have. You can construct workflow processes. So this means that it's like a checklist for a pilot. You know exactly what you're doing that day, that session. So you can get in, execute, and get out. Right? Nothing is worse than sitting on LinkedIn for hours and hours and hours just scrolling, refreshing, hoping something happens. You want to get in, execute the right tasks. The right tasks, these are the right tasks. You're going to be doing these activities, right? Because the purpose of this is to get into conversations. Now, if you're watching this on replay or live, one thing that you can do is go and give yourself an assessment of where you are with your funnel. Meaning, look at your offer fit. Does your offer actually match LinkedIn? When someone lands on your profile, do they know exactly what you do, who you do? Does it make sense? If you don't really have a good offer, give yourself a red. Your profile. If you look at your profile, if you have a CV rather than a landing page, give yourself a red. Some of you might have social proof, you might have some testimonials. But when you start to rank yourself, red, orange, or green, give yourself a ranking. Green meaning, yes, you absolutely have that part down pat, right? You've got a system in place. It is getting consistent, predictable, scalable results. Then give yourself a green. So most of the people that I come across kind of have something like this, right? Which kind of understands then why their LinkedIn isn't producing results, because you don't have a funnel in place. What I do with my clients, we turn all of this, we turn all of these green. That's the whole process. Because this is what we want. We want daily warm pictures. Remember, your LinkedIn sales funnel, you should be getting inbound, or you should be getting conversations started from all of these. activity. Rather than just getting, hoping that I'm going to do a post, someone's going to come to me. It doesn't work like that. When you have a process in place like this, it allows you to get multiple channels of prospects coming to you, getting into conversations, allowing you to pitch them in a very warm manner. Yeah. So that's the 9 elements of a successful LinkedIn sales funnel. If that's interesting for you, you want to learn how to put one in, I will work with you and I will put it in with you step by step. Literally, we will start at the start here and we'll work ourselves around week on week and we'll put in a complete working LinkedIn sales funnel. You will get results as you implement week on week on week. It starts straight away. It's totally transparent. You can see things changing on LinkedIn instantly once you make changes and you start ripping out the old stuff and putting in the new stuff. Anyway, if you're interested in putting in a LinkedIn sales funnel, comment under this funnel. I will reach out to you. Also message me. So you reach out to me, I'll reach out to you. Make sure we catch each other. Put the word funnel and I'll reach out to you. For the rest of this month, I'm offering the LinkedIn Insider Pass entry. Means love it or leave it. You can start and do weekly coaching within the first 5 modules all month. If you don't love it, you just leave. There's no extra charge. You don't have to finish the program. But if you come on board and you love it, then you'll complete the whole funnel with me. So have a look at this again if you didn't have a chance to, if you came in late. Have a look at all of the 9 elements. This is what gets you into daily conversations. The more daily conversations, the opportunities to pitch your services, the more offers you make, the more deals you close. It's that simple, right? The more people you speak to inside Messenger and pitch your services, the more money you make. The whole funnel is designed to always be opening conversations every single day. Multiple conversations every single day and doing it in a good hour and a half, just focused, dedicated work on LinkedIn and then getting off the platform because it's not that fun. LinkedIn kind of sucks, but it makes money. All right. Hope that helps everyone to understand the elements of a LinkedIn funnel. If you've got any questions, put it underneath. If you want some information about coaching, put the word funnel and I will reach out to you. All right. Cheers.